Hey everyone, it's me again. Today I'm going to talk about the best lengthy players you can use in FIFA 23. In case you didn't know, the short and fast players like Lionel Messi aren't quite as effective in the FIFA 23 meta. This is a stark contrast from FIFA 22, and the reason is due to the game's janky accelerate system. Essentially, every player is divided into one of the three FIFA 23 accelerate types: controlled, lengthy, or explosive. These categories are determined by several variables, such as stats and height, and they have a big impact on how players run. The most common type is controlled acceleration, which works in the most predictable manner of the three by having players accelerate in a consistent motion. Meanwhile, explosive players, as the name suggests, tend to accelerate faster than players with different body types, but gradually lose speed. However, the accelerate type that everyone is talking about is lengthy, which has ushered in a dramatic shift in the meta that we haven't seen in ages. Now tall, or should we say lengthy players like Manchester City's Haaland define the current meta, and this applies to all positions save for the keeper. FIFA veterans know that pace is the most important stat. It's why players like the popular Ultimate Team card Leonardo Spinazzola of Roma can have a higher use case than even Barcelona's very own Jordi Alba. Of course, some positions require more pace than others, but there's no denying that pace is one of the most important stats. You want your lengthy wingers to outpace other players, and likewise, you want your defenders to match their speed. It's not a very well balanced mechanic, but it is what it is, and people are taking full advantage of it. What's worse, players who otherwise have a different accelerate type can change into the lengthy type by utilizing chemistry styles. The Architect chemistry style, which ups physicality and passing by 3, is the ideal choice for making players lengthy. These stat lines are likewise increased by Backbone, but only by 2. Unfortunately, not all players have the potential to develop into lengthy. They must have a strength value of 65 or higher, a strength agility value of at least 14, an acceleration score of at least 55, and a height of at least 5.9 feet. Keep in mind that chemistry styles can only influence a player's stats. There's no way to magically make them taller. That's why shorter players quite literally get the short end of the stick in FIFA 23. With all that being said, here are the best lengthy players you can use in FIFA 23. Of course, I'll try not to include players who are outrageously expensive. Strikers. Erling Haaland. The first player on the list is none other than the Terminator himself, Erling Haaland. Manchester City's star striker has had an unprecedented success in the league, scoring 19 goals in only 12 appearances. And with an overall score of 89 and a sprint of 94, he already has excellent agility for you to use. He is almost the ideal attacking option, considering his exalted status as a lengthy player. However, Haaland is a very expensive pick for your ultimate team and also has less dribbling than some of his peers. I'll also be covering strong players you can buy on a budget. Suffice to say, I have a lot of ground to cover here. Mario Gomez. During his prime, Gomez was regarded as one of the top strikers in the world, and his amazing 88 rating reflects that. He is a goal-scoring machine, sporting one of the highest shooting totals in the entire game. With 83 pace, 82 dribbling, 90 shooting, and 83 physicality, you just can't go wrong with Mario Gomez. Romelu Lukaku. Chelsea's Lukaku, who's currently on loan at Inter Milan, has an impressive record of 68 goals in 102 appearances. His consistent performance in real life is reflected in game, with 86 sprint speed and good dribbling. If you're looking for a cheaper option than Haaland, then Lukaku is your friend. His price range should be around 20k, a huge bargain to be sure. Alexander Sorloth. An even cheaper option you should always consider is Alexander Sorloth, who plays for Real Sociedad on loan from Bundesliga club RB Leipzig. He is currently one of La Liga's most prolific strikers, and his in-game stats reflect this. People compare him to Haaland, and it's easy to see why. The difference is Haaland is a little better in everything except passing, physicality, and dribbling. If you are on budget, then Sorloth is an absolute must-have. He is literally about 30 times cheaper than Haaland. It's insane when you consider he can actually compete with Haaland for the role. Dusan Vlahovic. Yet an even cheaper option is Juventus striker Dusan Vlahovic, who has the same total of 84 as Sorloth. He had a fantastic season last year, and his in-game stats of 80 pace, 85 shooting, and 79 physicality reflect that. While Dusan may not be as fast as the others in this list, he remains a solid option regardless. Center midfielders. Michael Ballack. Starting off with a more expensive option, all versions of the star German midfielder icon are excellent choices for the CM position. With balanced stats across the board, Michael Ballack has it all, and he could be yours, for an exorbitant sum at least. Paul Pogba. The renowned French midfielder of Juventus, while underwhelming in recent years, is a cheap and strong option you can use in the CM position in FIFA 23. He is fantastic at everything except that he has middling defending and a rather average pace stat. Emre Can. If anyone can dominate in the CM position, Emre Can can. Dortmund's versatile CM is pretty much good at everything. He has a low acceleration stat but an insanely high sprint speed of 91, excellent defending, physicality, decent passing, and also a workable shooting stat. Furthermore, Emre can also play the CDM and CB positions with great proficiency. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. As Lazio's most prolific midfielder, Sergej is a powerhouse in FIFA 23. Like the others in this list, he can do a bit of everything, but has a rather middling pace. But taking advantage of the game's chemistry styles can certainly fix this. Center defensive midfielders. Casemiro. If you need a premier CDM, then Manchester United's Casemiro is a really good option. He is one of the best CDM players in the game. With a rating of 89. However, his pace stat leaves a lot to be desired. That's why people use the shadow chemistry style on him, making his pace workable and his defending quite literally one of the best in the game. Casemiro is exceptional, so you should get him while he is cheap. Fabinho. Similar to Casemiro, Fabinho of Liverpool FC has a very high overall rating, but a rather low pace stat. It's why you can get him on a bargain. And of course, the shadow chemistry style is fantastic, turning Fabinho into a defensive powerhouse. On top of this, Fabinho can also play the CB position with great effectiveness. Declan Rice. Need a really good and inexpensive CDM? If so, then I highly recommend using Declan Rice of West Ham. He's a CDM with average pace, good defending, and high physicality. Just don't expect to score any long shots, as that's not what Declan Rice is all about. Theo Hernandez. One of the best LBs in the world is Theo Hernandez of AC Milan, who requires the architect chemistry style in order to possess the lengthy attribute. He's a rather popular and premier option, which also makes him rather expensive. What really sets Theo Hernandez apart from others is his almost unrivaled acceleration and sprint speed. You just can't go wrong with Theo Hernandez. If you need a left back who can not only defend but create lots of goal-scoring opportunities like no other, then Theo Hernandez has got your back. Lucas Hernandez. Another premier left back is the other Hernandez, Lucas Hernandez of Bayern Munich. He is normally a CB and is pretty good at that position, and requires chemistry-style manipulation to have the lengthy accelerate type. Yes, as you've probably noticed, there are a lack of left backs who naturally have the lengthy attribute. Suffice to say, Lucas Hernandez with the anchor chemistry style is one of the best left backs you can possibly use in FIFA 23. While not quite as fast as Theo Hernandez, Lucas has even better defending stats. Robin Gosens. Robin Gosens is a really cheap and powerful left back you can use. The problem? He starts as a left wing back and needs the architect chemistry style to use the highly vaunted lengthy acceleration. Stats-wise, he is quite fast, strong, and becomes good at passing with the architect chem style. Right backs. Kyle Walker. As one of the best defenders in the world, Man City's Kyle Walker certainly delivers in FIFA 23. He naturally has everything you want in a right back: speed, defending, and physicality. Conveniently, he is lengthy at base, so he's close to peak potential as soon as you acquire him. Denzel Dumfries. Playing for Inter, Denzel Dumfries is an extremely prolific right wing back. You will need to turn him into a right back to use him, but it's worth it. Don't be fooled by his 82 rating. Dumfries has the stats that counts, including an amazing 87 sprint speed and 89 total physicality. Reece James. Reece James of Chelsea is one of the best right wing backs in the Premier League. While he may require a position modifier card for his formation and a cam style of anchor or shadow, Reece James has a rather advantageous pace stat of 81 at pace. As he is normally used as a right wing back, Reece James has the stats he needs to create opportunities for his team. Centre backs. Virgil van Dijk. When recommending centre backs, one cannot ignore Virgil van Dijk, even though he's extremely expensive. Van Dijk is probably the best lengthy centre back you can get your hands on. With an overall rating of 90, 91 sprint speed, awesome defending, and high physicality, Van Dijk is a fortress in the field. Kalidou Koulibaly. Another lengthy fullback is Chelsea's Koulibaly, who has been performing very well in recent years, earning him an overall rating of 87. He is hyper-focused into his CB role and is one of the very best at it, with ridiculously good defending, pace, and physicality. Just don't expect Koulibaly to make the best passes to his teammates. Antonio Rudiger. Antonio Rudiger of Real Madrid is one of the best centre-backs currently in La Liga, and his 87 rating reflects that. Like Koulibaly, Rudiger is an expensive option with an excellent sprint speed, defending, and physicality. The main difference is that Rudiger is quite a lot better at passing, earning him a niche as a potential playmaker. Milan Skriniar. If you need a cheaper option, Milan Skriniar of Inter is probably the best. He's rather comparable to Koulibaly and Rudiger with a total rating of 86 and slightly lower pace. Skriniar is quite literally as good in-game as players who cost 10 times as much. Get Skriniar while he is cheap. Bremer. One of Juventus's premier defenders, Bremer is another amazing centre-back with 2 cards. Both versions are fantastic, and like the others mentioned, he has everything you need in a CB, although his middling 78 sprint speed could use a much-needed cam-style amp. Ronald Araujo. One cannot make a FIFA 23 Ultimate Team video without mentioning Ronald Araujo, the criminally cheap and effective centre-back who plays for Barcelona. He's surprisingly complete for someone with an 83 rating, with good pace, defending, and physicality. Josko Gvardiol. RB Leipzig's Josko Gvardiol is surprisingly good for a CB with just an 81 rating. He has a high pace of 82, 80 defending, and 83 physicality. And did I mention he's extremely cheap too? You just can't go wrong with this player. Niklas Süle. Both versions of Borussia Dortmund's star CB are excellent choices. Süle, like the others recommended, has good sprint speed, defending, and physicality, the traits you need in a fullback. In-game, he is one of the most popular centre-backs being used in Ultimate Team. I won't be going into detail regarding goalkeepers in this video, as the significance of accelerate types in this position is still being observed. Although, if you're looking for a good goalkeeper with the lengthy type, then you can try using Alisson, Ederson, Emiliano Martinez, or Geronimo Rulli. If you watched the whole video, then congratulations! By now, you should be able to build a competent ultimate team consisting of lengthy players. Opponents will be flabbergasted when they see just how much better your lengthy football club is, adopting the 5-1-2-2 formation, of course. In FIFA, preparation is half the match, and understanding the meta will help you get the wins we all crave for. Thanks for watching, everyone. This is Airhead, signing out.